It's better than being a dumb one.
Move share around. Okay.
It's true.
It's recording.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the Intelligent Donkey. We're finally back over at Luna Rose's house.
Here I am.
The Dafter's house here to do some music reactions, and we're going to start our day today with the next, excuse me, next one up in our series from Kansas.
Yay!
And now we're back.
Yay!
Let's shed a little bit of light on the subject, shall we?
It's true.
All right, we're continuing our series of Kansas reactions as we count down to the best albums and playing a song or two, in this case just one,
All right.
for now anyway, from the next album in the list. Now the irony here is that it happens to also not only be the next one up in rank, obviously, but the next one in chronologically.
Oh, okay. So it's the one right after In the Spirit of Things.
In the Spirit of Things.
Okay.
We began this countdown at number 16 with Always Never the Same, and I decided to put the years.
Oh,
on the
yes, that'll
graphic
be
here.
good. Yeah.
1998's Always Never the Same is the bottom of the list. Drastic Measures is where they bottomed out as far as their new material went in 1982. Power in 1986, and then at number 13 In the Spirit of Things in 1988. So as you can tell, the 80s were not particularly kind to Kansas, and as you'll see with the next one up here, neither were the 90s, because we already had one from the 90s. Now we're going to do the only other album that they did in that entire decade and it's the lowest ranking album of the 90s in terms of new material.
Oh, yeah, because Always Never the Same was like
Self-covers.
Yes. Okay.
With an orchestra.
All right.
So
Go ahead.
The next album in the list is going to be 1995's Freaks of Nature.
Nice.
Freaks of Nature. The significant thing about that is that I was looking for that album on Napster. We talked about Napster last time. This is the album I was looking for on Napster when I found In the Spirit of Things.
Ah, okay.
So I found both albums, but I mean, I was not even aware of the existence of In the Spirit of Things until I had done that particular search.
All right.
And so I was aware of Freaks of Nature. I just wasn't seeking it out at that time. I later acquired the CD of it because it's got that most unique album cover. It's got that wonderful...
Oh, it's like the Freak Show.
Yeah.
Got it.
Freaks of Nature.
Okay.
It's got the weirdest album cover. It also happens to have new personnel.
Oh, all right.
All right. As of 1990 already, just shortly after.
In the Spirit of Things.
In the Spirit of Things. Steve Morse left the band, the guitarist.
Okay.
Greg Robert came on as another keyboard player, but he only played on their concerts. He never played on the album Freaks of Nature, and he was also gone by the time of the next album after Freaks of Nature, which was Always Never the Same.
Ah, okay.
And so on. But the most important personnel change that occurred during that interim period was David Ragsdale on violin. So
we finally get the violin back.
We finally got the violin back, and he does play on this album. So the lineup is now Phil Ehart on drums, Rich Williams on guitar, the two original members that are still with the band. Greg Robert on keyboards, Steve Walsh is still with them on keyboards, and he's the lead vocalist. David Ragsdale on violin and guitar, and Billy Greer on bass. He was the bassist as of Vinyl Confessions, I believe. No. Any which way.
Yeah.
Drastic Measures, he came on board, and he was with the band until 2024.
Now the lead vocalist, that is not the original lead vocalist.
Steve Walsh is the original lead
vocalist.
vocalist.
He is. Okay, all right.
As he was, and he also was the lead vocalist on Power and In the Spirit of Things.
Oh, that's right. It was the other ones. Okay, there was a time where he wasn't on there, but we saw those ones.
Correct.
Already. Got it.
He wasn't on there for Drastic Measures, for
Yes.
instance, when they bottomed out, basically. And yet, the second time that he left, which is on an album coming up yet, obviously ranks higher after he left. But for the time being, it's unfortunately true that they just, the 80s and the 90s were just not that great of an album, or decades, a couple of decades for them. At least they kept on improving with each album following Drastic Measures. They kept going up in rank as we went through chronologically as
Right.
well. So now we have,
All right.
and let's see if I can
So,
bring
what
this
kind
up.
of video did you find for this?
I don't know if I found a lyric video or not, because it starts out with the kind of thing like you see on lyric videos like this, but I think this is just going to be official audio.
Ah, okay.
But at least it's that. This is the second song on the album Freaks of Nature, a song called Black Fathom Four. And you'll
fancy.
find a very, very different sound.
Okay.
It's good sound. It's very, very different, though, from In the Spirit of Things.
Okay.
For one thing, you're going to hear a lot less synthesizer. Okay, it looks like we're up and running here. So this is Black Fathom 4 from Freaks of Nature.
Woohoo!
First, the violin.
Yeah, yeah.
David Ragsdale's violin style is very different from Robbie Steinhardt's. It's not that either one of them is better or worse than the other. I mean, there's a lot of fans that would have argued that Robbie Steinhardt was a better violinist overall. David Ragsdale, though, was much more of a bender.
Oh, okay.
And the reason for that, I think, is that he also plays guitar where you bend the strings a lot. You don't. Most classically trained violin players don't bend the strings hardly at all.
So it's almost more like a fiddle player.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because like this has more of the original Kansas sound to it.
Yeah.
Because it's got that like country folk kind of sound to it. Primarily probably because of the violin.
Yep.
Okay, so now this ranks lower down on the list for you because
Just because the rest of the albums are even better.
us. Okay,
But
because
obviously this one's better. We're getting to close to the middle of the list.
yeah, we're getting But the reason I say that is because like when this came out, this is early '90s. This is like when grunge and punk was really like. But the thing is, this is so far removed from that. I could see this not have done very well
Commercially?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is quite possibly Kansas's worst-selling album of the entire set.
Like, I could see where it would, like, really ring true with nostalgia for their 70s stuff. And, like, their hardcore fans would, like, oh, yeah, I want to buy this. But, like, for the general population who was moving into that grunge era, this is like, oh, my God, this is the stuff my dad listens to. It's so gross. Like...
I can see that.
Yeah.
This represented the second longest gap. It was the longest to that point between albums. It was 7 years since they did In the Spirit of Things.
Oh,
I
wow.
think they were kind of wondering if they were going to even do any new material. But with the partially new lineup like that, I think that they thought differently. And of course, they did. David Ragsdale ended up being a nice partner with Steve Walsh for music writing.
Ah, okay. All right. But so far, the song is good.
Yeah.
It would have been a hit in the 70s.
Yeah.
That very first part of the chorus, shoot, I guess I could probably rewind it, where it's like, probably not that far, but we'll see. That part, da, 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 like that sounds like something I recognize. Like that may be someone may have used their whatever that's riff or whatever that's called melody, or they used it or something. There's sharing going on here because I recognize that, but not from this song.
Okay.
That's interesting.
This album also had no singles.
Ah.
No singles were released from there, so there was no airplay.
Yeah.
The only reason I was aware of the presence of this album before this because I had seen it in a record store.
Ah, that makes sense.
Bass.
Yep. It's like a complete switch of the song.
Yep. Like they used to do in the 70s.
Exactly. Yeah, he plays that like a down-home Southern fiddle player.
He does, doesn't he?
Like, almost hear the Devil Goes Down to Georgia
Oh,
while he's playing.
You should hear him in the next album that he appears on,
Oh.
which is not 2000, by the way, not 2000, Somewhere to Elsewhere. We'll get into that when we get up to that point.
All
but
right.
it's up further
Okay.
than that.
All right. Ah, he got a little bit of his voice back. That range. Good. I was like,
You're looking at the symbols.
yeah, I was looking. This one here looks like a Pokemon, so I'm trying to figure it out. It looks like an evolution.
It's obviously the classic Kansas logo, but it's also, well, it's got some additions.
Yeah, I see that. I just can't figure the graphic is been through too much to really fully see what those
exactly.
are. But I'm just gonna say that's a Voltron. It's an evolution for sure.
Fathom Four.
Yeah. That was a really good song. I
Yeah.
think that if they would have continued with their violin and that same style, not gone into all the synth stuff, and just that album probably would have done very, very well.
Yeah.
But it coming out of nowhere after how many years of
7 years.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
before, I mean, I'm not just counting that 7 years. I'm talking about all these other albums that they came out where they're trying different styles and stuff like
Oh,
that.
sure.
If they would have just kept with the same thing, I think they would have done a lot better.
I think you're right. I mean, a lot of bands go through different styles, but as they maybe adapt to the times.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best example of that is Rush.
Yeah.
Who really did, I mean, although they didn't have as good of a 90s either, the fact of the matter is that still was some of the best stuff in the 90s because they adapted to that style. And the best album of the 90s that Rush did was arguably an album called Counterparts, in which they did do some things that sounded an awful lot like an attempt at grunge.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, exactly. But the thing is like, they tried their adapting, and then they just went right back to what they were doing, and it's like, maybe you should have just stuck with what you were doing.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of, maybe
Personnel
hindsight.
changes have a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Substance abuse has a lot to do with that, in the case of Steve Walsh in particular.
Yep.
You can hear in this song already the problems that he was having in his voice, because just 3 years later they did Always Never the Same, and you remember what that sounded like.
Yep, exactly.
The odd thing is that he stuck around, obviously, did the 2000 album Somewhere to Elsewhere, which is infinitely better.
Okay.
In
So we're
terms
getting
of his
better.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting better voice-wise.
That's good. Yeah.
But, yeah, and it took me a while to figure out that this was the song I should use
Oh, really?
from this album, because I was trying to figure out what's the best song on the album, and I would argue that there might be a couple of others that are even better than this. But this one represented the sound of Kansas in the 90s.
Yeah.
It really did. This is what all this stuff sounded like for Kansas when they were in concert and so forth. There are many people who, if they ranked the live albums that Kansas has done with the studio albums, would rank, well, those that did anyway, ranked an album called Live at the Whiskey, which came out just a year before this, as the worst album by Kansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the worst one, yeah.
Is that so a year before, so
like 94.
the fiddle player wouldn't have started by that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was already with them for 5 years by the time they recorded this album.
Whoops.
And of course, it was not for a major label because they got dropped by MCA Records, I believe it was, in just shortly after the release of In the Spirit of Things. I mean, they were really in a very bad place for the better part of a decade. But as you'll hear with one of the albums coming up, they bounced back very nicely. And for the first time, the next, spoiler alert, the next album up in rank is not simply the next one chronologically for the first time in 4 albums.
Ooh, we're going back in time.
We're going to go back a little bit.
All right.
So, and you'll figure out what that is when we get to it, and it might not be the one you think it's going to be.
Think
fans.
mid. Think mid. We're in the mids, okay?
Well, yeah, we are in the middle of the list. Like I said at the very beginning of this whole countdown, Kansas is my second favorite band, and I really don't see them ever getting knocked out of that spot next to, behind Rush. Not even the great new stuff that we've been hearing from my other current favorite bands like Nightwish and Dream Theater.
And Liliac.
Got
Well, there's your top five right there.
That we'll do another time here too.
All right.
But yeah.
Okay.
So any which way, we're going to wrap this one up, and we invite you to put in the comments what you think of Kansas in the 90s. Put what you think of Freaks of Nature, what you think of Black Fathom Four, if you thought that maybe you should have done a different song from the album.
That was a good song.
It was a good song. And it'll probably pop up, or other songs from this album might very well pop up the next time we do a mystery double reaction, because several of them are on my playlist.
Absolutely. All right.
So anyway, like this video, share it with your friends on social media, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We are continuing the march to 1,000 subscribers.
Woo! Let's do it.
And so, don't be a donkey of limited intelligence.
Instead, be an intelligent donkey.
And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.